morning, everyone. So welcome back to our channel. And I put the Posca pen here to remind you that I leave it always in that position, and my pencils I keep in a little mug. And but you don't want to do that. You don't want to put your Posca in here. It might stop flowing. You'll have a little bit of a hard time. I also added a Gmail account, so it's coloring for beginners at gmail.com. If you want to send me a copy of a page that you've colored from me, or you have questions and you don't want it to be public, you have access to my Gmail. So let's get started. Now, let's put this over here and start coloring the unicorn. So the first color we're going to start with is the light aqua. We're going to do the hair over here like this. Do you want me to, maybe I should do this like that. Let's get that into frame. So here we go. Start off light because you can always darken afterwards. So I'm just doing some lines like that. And then I'm going to come in with the peacock blue and just go where I didn't put any aqua. And I'm going to leave a little bit of space for the Parma Violet. Like this, Parma Violet, like this. Might as well do the tail at the same time, right? Let's add in a little bit of violet here. I'm going to do the shading with the violet. So the beginning of the tail and the end of the tail, I can do some shading. There we go. Maybe one line, 2 lines. The beginning. And this side here will shade. Because this side we're getting the light source. So there we go. A little bit of aqua. And a little bit of gray. Not too much. I don't think the gray is what we were looking for, but it will blend a little bit. And then we'll use our Posca. There. I'm going to add a little bit of little spots here. You know, it's like magic. Unicorns are magical. Have you ever seen one? There we go. I might even just do like a star like this. Maybe a little star over here. Could be nice. For our magic. And over here. All right. So for the tail, we're going to do up here where the light source is. I'm going to go ahead and just do the whole tail. It's going to make it so pretty. Side, like that. There we go. Another line here. Over here. Why not? Look how pretty that is. some more magic over here. Let's sprinkle magic like that. There we go. The horse, I'm going to make color with some Parma Violet in the shady areas. So the belly is going to be darker because there's less light. The leg right here is going to be darker, right under the belly. I'm going to shade over here, shade on one side of the leg, shade a little bit over here, under the jaw like this. It's going to be darker. There. Okay. So let's get our gray lavender out and go in very small circles to keep it light. We're going to have a nice little lavender unicorn. There we go. I should check if I'm really recording because I forgot to press record last time. So here we go. Up here, the face. Let's not forget this unicorn. I don't know how to call it. There. Let's just not forget to do it. Okay. So let's keep going very lightly in circles. We're going to keep the body light, and we're going to keep a light source. It's going to be whiter on the inside. So the whiter part, make sure your white is clean. So the belly here is going to be whiter. I'm back with the gray lavender 1026. There we go. A lavender unicorn. In our dreams, we dream of unicorns. Leg. I guess it would be a little bit darker down near the snow. So I'm going to take the Parma Violet and just shade that. I'm going to go back and shade here because we lost the shade. Under the belly, connecting to the legs. Right? Okay. And we'll blend all of this white. Very special unicorn. My first unicorn on my channel. We're gonna add some Posca. All right, I like it. So we're gonna, the light source is coming here. So the back of the horse is lighter. So we're not gonna see a dark line. There. All right. Then we're going to do the shooting star. So I'm going to use my light aqua. I'm going to go lightly on the outline. Just because I really like aqua and violet together. So we're getting the best Parma Violet and light aqua. Light aqua 992. have to remember to let the Posca dry before I touch it with my hand. That would not be good. We'd have to just touch up. You did not hear anything, right? Okay, so after the Parma, I'm going to go in. After the light aqua, I'm going to go in. I'm not blending them together so that I can keep the colors, the real colors there. Let me check if you can see well. Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes I zoom in like that, I forget, I start presenting stuff. And I'm out of the camera view. I'm going to use the white to blend, but not blend the two colors together. No, 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 no. Just the Parma in a straight line, in a straight line. Get some of that white tooth out, like this. And then I'll go ahead on the aqua. I'm going to go back in with the aqua because we don't really see it enough. There we go. Yeah, I want to see that better. There we go. So my wish that I made when I saw this shooting star is that my channel works for you guys, that it brings you something. Then I'm going to come in with some violet. I'm going to just draw on the line like this. This morning I was watching a video on coloring for adults, and they were talking about all the benefits we get from coloring. For example, I'm going to do all the lines in violet. I'm a very anxious person, so if I'm sitting down watching a movie sometimes, okay, did I press too hard? Sometimes when I'm outlining, I press hard. So when we have anxiety and our head is just spinning because we're always thinking and looking at all the sides of everything, and then we repeat the same story over and over in our head. Well, while we're coloring, we're not doing that. We're just watching what we're doing with the coloring. We're concentrating on what we're coloring. So it's great therapy in that sense. I'm going to go in with the white and just bring that violet out. You see how it's smushing out? Like that. I did add that video to my playlist in case you're wanting to go have a look. It was very interesting. And for me, that's why I'm coloring. This is why I've been coloring for 3 years. If I'm not feeling well, and my mind is going off on this and that and that, I just say, color, Pat, just color. It'll be better. And yes, it does make it much better. There we go. I'm going to go in and just add a tiny bit more aqua. Wherever I can see there's an area that would need some color. It can be just about anywhere. If you don't like what you see, you can erase. All right, doesn't have to be perfect. There. I'm gonna go in with the Posca. Let's, what color should we do the star? What color do you think I'm gonna do the star in? I think it's going to be Parma. Parma is the winner. What color are you gonna color the star? One solid Parma color. There we go. I'm gonna take my Posca around the star. My hands are shaking a lot today. I don't know why. There. So I need some more color over here. I'll put, what should I add? What color should I add there? More violet. How about the Copenhagen? I haven't used that one, and I do really like this color. Look at that color. It's really pretty. I'm gonna leave some of that white tooth. Once in a while, that's okay. Sometimes it can be an advantage for you. It sort of just lightens everything up. I'm gonna add a bit of Copenhagen in the tail here, as if it was a little bit darker on this side. And I'm gonna go back with the Posca. Shooting star is going to go ahead and leave some magic behind. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So we're just going to add some magic. In real life, the magic would not be in front of the tree, but on a picture, it's much prettier this way. So, here we go. Here we go. There, there. When you're using your Posca, it's not like a real pen. You don't press hard. You go lightly. That way, see how much Posca is coming out? I'm going lighter. I don't press hard on the Posca. Put my paper so the oils from my hand don't get down. You see, I'm not going light enough, so it's not. If I go lighter, it's much whiter. Come over here, follow the violet. This one as well. There are no mistakes. Your coloring is your coloring, and you do it your way. There are no mistakes. If you don't like something, you're just gonna keep trying something else. See, I don't like what I did here with the Posca, so I'm just going to erase it like that. If I color, it'll even thin out the line if I go along that way. There's always a solution. It's just to think of it. Okay, so now if your Posca doesn't flow, just go, pretend it's flowing, just go and it'll start. Magically. There's a lot of magic on my channel. It's a very magical place. It's art therapy. There's nothing wrong with art therapy. As a kid, maybe you liked coloring. They had, you know, they would come out with all sorts of different types of colorings. Doodles, coloring. You'd get a kit with a large sheet, and then you just, the pencils, well, the markers even, would come with the picture. It would be really cute. I like this. I do. All right, let's get to the snow. What did we use for the snow? Let's zoom out. It's a good idea to zoom out. Let's get the snow. So I added here all the colors that we've used for the snow. So far we haven't really had to take out many pencils. We've been basically reusing most of the colors over and over. And that was intentional so that if you're a beginner and you don't want to buy a set, you prefer to buy open stock, well, I didn't want you to have to buy a whole bunch of pencils. Excuse me. So, I'm going to start out with Blue Slate 1024. Blue Slate. You'll notice here the border, I made it darker, and I really love it because it's getting all the colors right to the bottom. Why don't we do that? So, Blue Slate, very lightly, very, very lightly. And then powder blue will be a little higher. You can actually go up here. Oh, this was Blue Slate and powder blue, the famous powder blue 1087, which we discovered in our past videos that one of them came from a bad lot. So we put it in retirement. All right. When we're retired, we don't just give up on life. We take up a hobby. We keep busy. And this is the hobby that I do. All right. Then we're going to use the Copenhagen Blue 906 and go very lightly just at the bottom here. I'm going to zoom you in for this part. There. So very lightly. Such a pretty blue. So what are your favorite colors? We can see, right, what my favorite colors are. We're going to use the violet blue. Again, just a tiny bit. Then light aqua, very lightly, because we're going to be dragging this line up to give us this tint here. And then, what do we need? Peacock blue. Where's peacock blue? Here it is, 1027. If you need the list of all the pencils that we've used, you can find it in the description of the video. There we go. So now we're going to drag that color. What do I mean by dragging, right? So if I, let's say, I take my color like this, all the same colors that I had over there. And then I take my white and I drag. I turn to get the color mixture. I turn to get the color mixture and I bring it out. So I've dragged the color out to get that beautiful mixture. One of my favorites. There we go. Okay. Thank God we have the brush here. So this would be a beautiful tint for clouds in the sky. And we're using it for our snow because we want to pull in some of the colors from the tree. So we're going to pull out, we're going to turn in the color, pull it out. In the color, pull it out. In the color, pull it out. There we go, like that. It really adds to the ambiance because this line here just really finishes it up. It's what I needed. Okay. So let's take the lightest color here, blend over everything. We could go right up to the mountaintop. The mountain of snow. That. We can use the blue slate down here to get a nice blend. I'm going to zoom you out so you can see the whole page, how everything's coming together. We passed the ugly stage, right? Because sometimes when we're coloring, we have like an ugly stage. And we sort of want to just give up on the page because we don't like it. But if we keep going, very often we'll end up saying, oh, wow, okay. Because when you're adding color and, oh, I don't like that tint, so I'm going to add this other color. You're really, you get your own creation. There. So I asked my mother, because I know she has the Joanna Basford Christmas book, and yes, Christmas is coming. So I asked her to send me about 5 of her favorite pages, and I'm going to do a color along in that book as soon as I finish this list, this playlist. So I'm going to use my Posca to cover these lines here. I can extend that further if I want, and continue this way. There we go. I can continue that line if I want, like that. I'm going to use just the blue slate over here. Again, very lightly, so that you can adjust the colors after. Like when they're very light like that, you can just add another pencil over it if you want to change the shade. We're gonna use the powder blue 1087, our famous. That was really kind of funny when I was presenting that problem, and I thought I had another powder blue in my hands, but it was a different color. Oh, oh well, you know, we're not going to sweat the little things, all right? I'm going to enjoy what we're doing, and so what hobbies do you do? Do you color, or do you just like watching people color? I'm sure that's a thing as well, right? Well, I've spent many of my time, my hours, just watching people color and learning from what I see. I've done a lot of tutorials in the past 3 years. Now I feel like I'm just going ahead and choosing my colors and not really sweating about it. So I have my own way of coloring. I don't have to be coloring like somebody else. So that's the way it is. Each colorist has a way of creating. All right. So because I have some snow, some shading here, I can add some little sprinkles of snow like this, little dots. If you don't have a Posca, that's okay, you don't have to. All right, you're free to do what you want, the way you want. And to follow your budget, right? Like that. So there we go. Now I can see that I want to extend this tint here that we did over here, or that I did. I want to extend it just a little bit, okay? So Copenhagen 906. Very lightly. Peacock Blue 1027. Very lightly. Violet. These are all the colors that we used up here. And I know why this one broke, because I dropped it twice yesterday. Yeah, and each time the tip broke. And what's the other color that we added to that? Light aqua. Some light aqua. Okay, so now we're going to take the white. make sure it's clean. And smush that color up. There we go. We're going to use blue slate. Try to get a nice gradient there. We're going to use powder blue 1087 this way. There we go. Okay. We can go in with some white. Get it well blended. That. We're going to use the snow over here. Going to put snowflakes. It's going to lighten up the shade. There's another one over here. There you go. It's coming along, isn't it? We're also going to be using the gray lavender to pull in a little bit of that lavender. We're going to go ever so slightly. We hardly see it, but it will leave a bit of a tint, just slightly. There we go. Here as well. I'm just tickling the page with my pencil. Just like that. So that's it, folks. We've colored quite a bit. I think I'm just gonna, oh, okay, we have that tree. Maybe we could do that together on our next video so that this video is not too long. And I'm going in harder now with my white just to be able to make sure that I have no harsh lines anywhere. I don't want any harsh lines. Please leave a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe. That will help me out a lot. There we go. You can leave a comment if you wish. You can ask a question in the comment section. You can send me an email. All the options are there. So my email is coloringforbeginners@gmail.com. I feel like there's gray coming out of this pencil. It's terrible. I don't get it. Did they just do a bad batch? Or maybe I just shouldn't be using this particular pencil with these particular colors. I'll end up knowing. So what I think I'm going to do over here next time, the tree, I might make the same color as this one. And all the circles here, I'll make it like Christmas lights. So they'll all be white with Posca. And I'll have done the snow. What I could do just quickly here is add in this, the blue to get the snow going here. Like that. Everywhere in between. And if I want to add some shading afterwards, I'll go in with a second layer, maybe another color. Do I want the lights to be white? Do I want them to have a color? Do I want them to be all different colors? Do I introduce a new color? So many questions, and like that's what coloring is all about also. You're thinking about your colors and what you like and don't like, which ones make you happy. Each color has its own meaning. And so you really discover what you like. And it's funny because when I'm outside and I see Copenhagen, a tint of that color in the nature or on a house or whatever, I say, oh, that's Copenhagen blue. My mind is now living these names. I'm noticing where the shadows are on objects. So, yeah. Coloring has a whole life to it. What's fun is you can do it with a friend. You can go for a coffee at the cafe and bring a few items. There's a lot of fun to be had. So I'll continue this probably on my own, or maybe that'll be our next and last part for this project. So I think this is part 9, if my memory serves me right. And don't forget the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.